I'm Renaud Boutet from Lomatic.io. I'm co-founder and evangelist, and I'm going to present Beyond App Monitoring, the new era of log analytics. We're going to see how with logs you can do much more than regular app monitoring. So the first question I'm going to ask you is, what is your opinion on logs? I don't have a lot of time, so I'm not going to wait for answers. But usually when we ask this question, it's okay. We have logs. We don't know what to do with it, with them. We just drop them into files. We roll them, and it doesn't matter. And as a developer, they just leave me alone. I just want to develop new features. Okay, that's how it goes in most areas we see. However, everybody knows, everybody faced it. Here, I'm sure, like most people, you are going to have a problem one day. And usually, as log is everyone else's problem, somebody is speaking to the team and say, oh, there is a production issue. You have to dive into it. Yeah, you go into the logs. I don't know what you're going to see to them, and it's going to be hard, but you have to find the thing. And usually it looks like this. So yeah, I'm going to I'm going to dive into my logs. I'm going to find the stuff. I'm going to fix stuff. And usually the guy is the hero, and that's what is log in most companies we see right now. So if you look like a little bit closer, you can do much more than debugging with logs. If I get into this slide, logs have like very untapped qualities. Like it's rich, it's really rich, and it can get very detailed. And I'm going to explain how in the next few slides. It's very low-tech resources, which is a quality because it's simple, it works. Like I mean, all languages has logs, so that's nice, and it's real time. It's real time. I mean, usually like you have the logs like straight away, like a couple of milliseconds after something happens. So that's very nice. And usually developers, they know how to handle logs. So when you have a question about an application, logs is like your best friend to answer the question. So we rolled up our sleeves and we decided to bolster logs' reputation. And here I'm going to explain how at Lomatic, because we have 80 servers and we have hundreds of customers, we use logs all the time, and what kind of techniques we use to leverage this data source. So keep it simple, okay? If you're afraid of like refactoring of your logs or your logs, you can still say to your developers like, okay, instead of saying like user 1234, say user ID equals to 1234, because I can get a parser which is going to be able to extract that like straight away. And the machine is going to be able to extract like qualitative attributes, like contextual attributes that are going to be very useful when you're going to investigate. Even better, if you look into all the modern languages today, Java, Go, .NET, whatever, Python, we deal with all these languages all the time. You have like the logger, you have the message, you can like write a message, and that's something like a very few developers are doing, you can put context. And that's where it gets very interesting. You can put context, okay? So instead of doing these equals into the sentence, you can just add a context stating like this event happened in that situation for that customer, for that user, for that whatever. And at the end, you can get a piece of JSON, and it gets very interesting when you get this JSON, because you can do much more. Second advice, log as much as you can. Log from browser and mobile devices. I don't know, like many companies that knows that all the stacks they have into the user interfaces, because they don't collect logs from user interfaces. You can actually collect logs from user interface. There are techniques for that. So I'm talking about like mobile devices, like web browsers, like JavaScript, etc. And of course, that's something more regular, like servers, proxies, that's Apache and Nginx, etc. Of course, source code, that's what you are building, and databases, because slow queries can get very interesting. Sorry, I think, yeah. So here, like for instance, you have like an SSHD log. That's something like an invalid user that comes into your server. Usually you don't look at these logs, so like gather them. You're gonna log like regular errors, API calls, any business event, which is you're gonna see it's gonna be very important to answer business questions, user actions, and even if you want, because you're gonna see that we're gonna use like centralization tool and analytics tool, CPU, memory, disk, etc. Like knowing the CPU state or disk state at a specific time is just a log stating that the CPU was taking that value at that moment. And of course, meta-information context all the time. So here it's an example of what does like regular syslog agent. You know the machine, the app, when it gets collected, the severity, etc. So I'm going to illustrate usage through like two big sections, inside two big sections. How do you use log for better quality of service? And how do you spot new opportunities, like business opportunities as well? So, better quality of service. There are bugs lurking around the corner. When you have like a big infrastructure, you have like megabytes of logs, gigabytes of logs flowing, and you're not looking at them. You just search into them when you have the problem. So you have bugs all the time. I mean, but you don't see them. And the thing is to be the first to know. So how can I be the first one to know? Use analytics. So you're going to centralize your log. You're going to put as much context as you can, and then you're going to be able to slice and dice into all these attributes. That's what we do. We search for errors and get digest every week. So we find new stuff all the time. You cannot imagine. So here, like you have like this small class here. It shouldn't fail, but you don't see it if you're just looking into files. If you now aggregate them and slice and dice over all your classes, etc., you're going to be able to see, oh, what do I have that class failing here? And then you're going to be able to click into that and just see the what's happening for that in that specific class. So you are now able to detect bugs you didn't have idea of. So you can spot like phenomena and then free up resources because you fix the bugs before they just spawn. So that's how we do all the time. However, you don't hotfix because hotfixes are costly. So how do we do when we find bugs? We say, okay, I spotted something which is very strange. I'm going to set up an alert stating that the bugs is just I'm seeing it. And now I'm going to say, okay, can I mitigate it manually instead of just restarting my 80 servers? Yes or no? Okay, if it's a no, I hotfix. If it's a yes, so I'm not going to hotfix. And how often it happens? If it happens very often, I hotfix. And then if it happens very rarely, I'm going to wait the next release. So I know everybody are saying we should do continuous integration, like deploy 10 times a day, but like we are processing like billions of events every day, and we cannot just reboot our servers because it brings latency, it brings a lot of problems. So we are just going to gather everything we spot, and then we fix everything into the release, and if it's very problematic, we just hotfix. Okay, and we have to do it sometime. So we understand quickly whether we need to hotfix or not. Alerts save us time. So because now we are able to just, when we spot something, we say, okay, just check if it happens again. If it happens again, just tell me, and we progress better on our backlog. Okay, because usually when you spend a lot of time troubleshooting, you waste your time. So now more business focused, like how to spot new opportunities with logs. As I already said, you need to enrich your log as much as possible. And usually you have a couple of techniques, just you have to train a little bit the developer, and they usually understand and leverage. They know how they can leverage that afterwards. So they do that quite naturally after a few weeks. So here, for instance, it's like a regular Java log. So, but we have the name of the company, we have the request ID, we have and we have the number of rows that guy hit into that query, etc., etc. And then with all this context, you don't know what you're going to spot. Like for instance, a couple of weeks ago, we spotted that because we deployed on the cloud, that's for some reason some machines with exactly the same, they were supposed to have exactly the same performance. We were seeing that queries coming from to a machine were fast when others were very slow. And that's because we understood that on the data center, the machines were not like located at the same place. So we just spotted that thanks to logs. And we decided to move to just shut down the servers and reallocate new servers. So we improved the user experience and we reduced the latency by 4 by doing this. So just by looking into the data the logs were giving us. User experience. We also collect logs directly from frontend. That's an example of dashboard. So we know what companies are using what feature. We know how the users are flowing, and we have a single tool that collects all this data from backend servers, from front-end servers, etc. So we don't have like tons of. So the product owner here can identify what matters, what is not, if it's slow, if it's not. The salesman can also see if the user is doing what he's supposed to do during this test period, for instance. So and we see that with like 2 or 3 seconds latency, and so it's quite powerful. So we understand which features are critical. We clean the UX and spare our user headaches. And as I said, like sales and support teams, they don't bother developers all the time saying, hey, can you tell me and look into the file if the user did that or that? Can you build a reporting tool doing this? No, we just collect logs. It's very fast, so you can deliver new reporting requirement in a week, because if you're able to develop in a week, so you ask the developer to just send more data because there is this new feature coming, and you don't have to wait the new reporting tool like a couple of months. You just gather the logs and just display that into the dashboard. So it's very nice. So to sum up, because I only have 1 minute left now, better quality, new opportunities, free up resources, like stop bothering developers so they can develop. Okay, so customer support, they just can see into the log and do the first level of troubleshooting. The developer don't have to do it all the time. Business people, they can even, we work in advertising, with advertising customers as well. They can see which ad is published there or there with logs. So it's also for business people. So logs can be used by everyone, and the last sentence I want to say is like enrich your logs and they'll pay you back. That's what we think. That's it. Thank you for your time.